this is Mysql table. You may be wondering that I've already explained in the previous example, in the previous tutorial, about how you create a new Mysql table, how you create Mysql table by using whether the mobile PHP admin or the web, as in the web PHP my admin. But this time around, we want to be able to create a database, as we want to be able to create a table from a script. Normally I've teach you how to create a table from the PHP admin, whether you are using the mobile version or the web version. But this time around, I want to teach you how to create a table from a script. And how do we arrive at this? The first thing is that before you can create a table, any table from any script, from PHP script, then the database must already exist. What I mean is that you know that you can't create a table. A table must have a database. So that means before you can create a table using a script, or even before you can create a table making use of this mobile PHP admin that we are seeing, this interface that we are seeing now, then the database must already exist. So right now, let's create a new database. So is inside this database now that we are going to add new table, that we are going to create new table. So let's create another database. Let's call it db2. So market_db2 is the name of our database. So this market_db2 may have a lot of tables. You may create table inside it. You know, this is market_db2. So we may create this time around now we can decide to create a table. So what I'm just trying to say in essence is that whenever you want to create a table, whether you want to create it using a script or you want to create it from PHP admin, make sure you already create a database. So it's inside the database that a script is going to be. Remember what I showed you the previous example, that whenever you want to create a storage that saves the user data, maybe your site visitor, your visitor data, then you have to create a database. Then from inside that database, then you create a table. Then inside the table, then you now specify the field. That's those data you want to collect, maybe the name, email, address, all those kind of information that you want to collect from the user. So right now we've created a database. Normally I'll teach you how to create a table using this mobile PHP. All you need to do is click on table. Even though let's go back to our Mysql server. Let's go back as if we want to log in. So when you are on this page, you can see if you want to create a database as a table inside a database now, all you need to do is look for the database that you want to the database that will have that table. That is the new table you want to create now. Look for the database that will have the new table. If the database that you want to store the new table inside, if it's not here, all you need to do is create a new database. But if it's there, let's say I want to store my table inside market_db2, I'll need to click on this market_db2. So once the interface opens, then I will click on create table. But note, we don't want to create table using this design view, because I've already taught you in the previous tutorial how to create a table making use of this interface. But right now we want to create a table from a script. So what we need to do is let's log into our FTP. Let's log into our FTP. So when we log into our FTP now, the next thing is www directory. So let's create a script. I've told you whenever you want to create a script, it's always a PHP. It's always as a script always has a PHP extension. You save the page with .php because the name of the script you want to create is PHP script. So now let's create a new file. Let's call it create table. I believe I've taught you in the previous tutorial how to create a database making use of a script. So right now, like this database that I just click on create database now, that I was able to create market_db2. In case you want to create that kind of database making use of a script, I believe I've already taught you that. But right now we are trying to create a table inside the database that already exists. That is, the database already exists in our database. So right now we want to create a table from a script that will store that table, that will store it inside this database. So that's what we are trying to do right now. So let's create a new file. Let's call it createtable.php. So but note one thing, in table creation there are three commands. There are three commands required. We have the name of the tables, like when you want to create table, making use of the mobile PHP admin, and when you click on create table, it will ask you for the name of the table. It will ask you for the table name. So you supply the table name here. So this is what we are trying to talk about here, the name of the table. Every table has a distinct name. And the second thing you need to know when you are creating a table is what is the name of fields. So maybe you want to save name can be your field name. You want to save password is also another field name. Mobile number is also a field name. Telephone is also a field name. Sex, whether male or female, is also a field name. So these are the field names. So a table has as many fields as possible. So a single table, all you need to do is name your table. Once you name your table, you can call it registration table. Name your table. Then in your registration table, there are a lot of data that you may want to collect from your user. So you just name them based on the field. So these are the second thing, name of the field. So I believe I've already explained this when we are creating a number, but this time around I'm just trying to use this interface to explain, because we are not to create our table making use of this interface. We are to create our table from a script that you run. So that's what we're trying to do. So I'm just trying to use this as an explanation. So right now, the last thing is the definition of each field. So each field now, it has different definition. Like the field name now, the other types of this name. I've already told you whenever we are collecting information on name, we use other types of what? Of varchar. So like this varchar now that we see now, and the length of all this column, the length of this field now, you can say 200. That is, you should not, if a user type, maybe you ask for the name of the user and he types maybe his name, and the name is more than 200, it will only collect false to 200 and it will store it in database. Every other name, every other thing apart from the length of 200, every other data that is there, or every other data that is there, is going to be automatically deleted. So what I'm trying to say is that, let's say you set the name as 20, then that means all the names that the user must supply, any user that visit your website and they want to click on registration form, every name, all their name must not be more than up to 20. If it's more than 20, the first 20 is going to be stored in database. The other one is going to be removed. So you as the web administrator, you will not have access to the other name. Even though, let's say for example now you store this as 5, and the user come and press Adegoke as his name in the registration form, the database will just store Adego. This K will be deleted, and the user may think that I enter Adegoke now. Why is it that I'm always seeing Adego? The reason is because in database they've already created the length of that name as 5. So the first 5 letters is what will be stored in database. The other one is going to be deleted. So this is just length. So the data types and the length and this option that you see here, all these things, they have their own uses. But for now, just limit yourself to the field name, the data types, and the length. Just limit yourself to these 3. Because all this now is not compulsory. It's not compulsory that whenever you want to declare your field, you have to enter them. It's not compulsory. They have a specified work that they are doing. But when you get to that point, I'm going to explain to you what they mean. But for right now, just focus on this: the field name, the data types, and the length. So these are the 3 things you need to focus on. So right now, the data types and the length and all these other ones, they serve as what? The table definition. They serve as the definition of each field. You are defining this name now is a table name, is a field name. That's the name of field. This name now is a field name. So what we are the definition of this field name are the data types is varchar, the length is 5. So all these data types, the length, the option, the none, the auto increment, which is AI, all these things is called a what? A field. Everything you are seeing here is called a field definition. We are defining each of these rules now from here to here. Each of these rules now represents what? The definition of field what? Of field mobile. Each of all these ones now represents what? The definition of field what? Field password. So this is what we need by. So you have to define the first thing is what? Name your table. The second thing is name your field. The third thing is define your field. Each of these fields must have a definition. So these are the 3 things you have to know. So to create a database, this is the syntax of creating a database. This is the syntax. So let's create a database now. Let's create a database from a script. All you need to do is copy this code. All this one is just explanation of what the code, or what's this code that you are seeing here. All this is just the explanation of what the code are doing. All this is just the explanation of what the code are doing. So to create a table from a script now, all you just need to do is, let's run this PHP script. So we copy this, copy it and paste it inside our file, the file we want to use to create our database. So this is the script now. So before I run this script now, let's see what it does. So let's go back to our table, our database, market_db. This is the database we are trying to use. So let me refresh my page. There's an internet connection problem. So right now you discover that on this database now, market_db2, there is no table inside it. That's why I said no tables. So right now we are trying to create a table from a PHP script. So let me explain what the script does. Here now I've told you that this a database rules is always a local host, and these are the three information you need whenever you want to log into your. I told you that whenever you want to do anything that pertains to your database, you have to first connect your database. Even though you want to create a table, you still have to connect your database to do that from a script. Even though you want to create a database, you still have to connect your database to do that from a script. Whenever you want to connect the database from it, whenever you want to do anything inside your database from a script, you need to connect to the database. So this is just what we use in connection. So right now we are going to change these parameters to suit our own server. I've told you that this thing, irrespective of your server, is always localhost. This one is the username they gave you, your cPanel username. For my own case, my own cPanel username is this, and my password is this. So you can get this information in the email we sent you, but please make sure you use your hand to type it so that you won't make mistake, and wherever there is capital letter, make sure you put them. So these are the information that you use in connect. So if this information is correct, automatically then it will be connected to the database. So you can now do anything you want to do. And I've told you that there are a lot of things that you use MySQL and query to do. Right now, even though you want to create a database, we make use of MySQL and query. If you want to drop a database, we make use of the same thing. So if you want to create a table, you make use of what? MySQL and query. And this MySQL and query, it accepts two parameters. The first parameter is what? Is the statement, what you want to do. Maybe you want to create a table, maybe you want to drop a table, maybe you want to edit a table, all this stuff. It's just this is the parameter. And the second parameter is what? Is your connection. So if all these things is connected, if all this information is correct, then that means you are connected. So the second thing we have to talk about right now is the SQL, the statement, what you want to do. Right now we see that we say we want to create a table. So anything that is in front of this create table is your table name. This is the table name you want to create. You want to create tutorials_tbl. This is the table name you want to create. And these are the parameter and the fields that are inside that table. The first field is what? Is tutorial_id. You will see that they put comma here. So whenever they put comma, that means they want to name another field. The first field is what? Tutorial_id. The second field is what? Is tutorial_title. This third field, is there any third field? Yes. The third field is what? Is tutorial_author. I see. Tutorial_author. The fourth field is what? Submission_dates. Finish. So that means this table that they are trying to create, we have what? We have 4 fields. So I've told you that, look at what I told you when we are starting this tutorial, that whenever you want to create a table, you need 3 things. You need the name of the table, and that is what we did here. Create table. The name of the table. When we say create table, we say the name of the table. That's the first thing we did here. The name of the table is tutorials_db. Then the second thing is what? The name of the fields. So tutorial_id is the first field. Tutorial_title is the second field. They are separated by comma. The tutorial_author is the fourth field. And the last one, submission_date, is the fourth field. Then the last thing that we said we need is also what? We need to define for each field. So for the definition of tutorial_id, we said the data type should be what? Should be integer, not null, and the auto increments. I believe I've already, as I have not explained what not known mean and what auto increment mean, but it's still the definition of, I've told you right now, when you click on create table now, maybe in your database, when you click on create table, see, this is the norm. They just check this box. So all these things that we have here, in our scripts, all these things that we have here in our scripts, I can decide the database that I want to create here in our script. I can decide to just click on create a table, and I can create the table here. So, but I'm just teaching you an example, other method of creating table. In case you don't want to create table, make use of your PHP admin. You can create your table from a script, and that is what we are trying to do. So I told you we need three things: the name of the field, the name of the table, the name of the field, and the definition of each field. So all these things that we are seeing here, this is the field name, or all these things that I highlighted is what we call the definition of this field. So all this one is the definition of tutorial underscore ID. All this that we have here is the definition of tutorial underscore title. All what you have here is the definition of tutorial underscore author, and all you have here is the definition of submission underscore dates. And you see that there is no comma again there, so that's the very that there is no feed again. So this is just the 4 feed that we have. So now this definition of this feed, now the first one, now the integer, what they did is the first one after this the feed name, the first thing that is there is what is int. This int represents what? It represents the data types. So tutorial underscore id, if you say tutorial underscore id, the data type they gave it is what? Is int. So this is just the int, and they gave it not none. I will still explain. I've told you that the only thing I'm concerned on this tutorial, and because of this tutorial, is just this 3 thing. This 3 is a column name, the types, and the lengths. All these other one, we are still going to talk about them, but not now. But the things I'm considering about right now is just the column name, the types, the data types, and the lengths. So right now, the int now is the data types. They give it int as data type. Tutorial underscore they give it int as data type, and the auto increment. This is the auto increment AI. So they just check this box. So this is how they arrive at, and not they check this non box. This is how they arrive at tutorial underscore. So tutorial underscore title also, but this time around, the data type of tutorial underscore title is what? Is virtual. So whenever you see virtual into bracket 100 like this, it means the length is 100. Tutorial underscore what? Is it underscore author underscore title underscore title? They gave it virtual, and the length they gave it what? They gave it 100. That's the 100 you are seeing here. So I believe everything they created here, everything the way they create the table, the structure of this table, the way they create it, I believe you can do the same thing in your PHP admin, because I believe I've already taught you. So right now, but let's go back to our database. We are not trying to create this table inside from this PHP admin. You see that there is no table here now. We don't have table inside in the database market underscore db2. So right now, let's continue. These are just the feed name, the feed, and the description, as in the definition of each feed, comma, separated by other feed name, the definition of this feed name, comma, separated by the feed name and the definition of this feed name. So later, but we can't just create a table without selecting which database we want the table to be created under. I've told you that the chain is what? You first start with database, then it goes to what is table. So you can't just create a table inside a Mysql database. You can't create a table inside it without already having a database. So what I'm just trying to say in essence is, I can't just log into this Mysql database directly and say I want to create a table. It's not possible. I have to specify which database will hold that table. Normally here I have 3 databases here now. If I want to create a table, I have to know that will I use either of these database. If I know that okay, I'm not going to use either of this database, all I need to do is create new database to hold that table. But if I know that there is a database here that I want the table to be stored in, I will just click on database. So when I click on the database, then I'll click on create table. But this time around, we already have a database that we want to study, and we don't want to create our table from this interface from phmadmin. We want to create our table from a script. So this time around, we have to, even if we are going to create a database, if we are going to create a table from a script, we have to know the database that the table is going to study. So what's the name of this database now? The name of the database is market_db2. And here now I've told you that this is the syntax. This is the function for selecting database. You make use of what? MySQL_select_db. So this is the syntax for you to select your database. So before we will connect to our database, before we will connect, normally we've already connected to the server, to the MySQL database. We've already connected. But before we create a table, the table must already knows the database that is going to store the table. So what I'm trying to say is that even if you want to create a table from a script, if you don't want to use this design interface to create a table, if you want to create a table from a script, the script also must contain the database that you want to study. So let's say tutorials. Now you see that there's no database called tutorial in our server. Then if you create a database called tutorial, as in if you select a database called tutorial, by the time you run this command now, you discover that it will tell you that it will not create table. Why? The reason it will not create table is this: there is no database called tutorial. Because before you can create a table, the database must already exist. As in the database, like market_, the database that you want to hold that table must already exist. So right now, we want to create our database and we want market_db2 to store the table. All we need to do is, inside this MySQL_select database, the name of our database that will store the table, we have to put it here. So we have corrected everything. Know what we correct? We correct all this. Once this information is correct, your script will connect to the database. So this is where we create our table. And the next thing that we correct is what? Is we are selecting the database. Database we want the table to store in. Then we put the name of database. But note, if the database is not already present in your database, if the name of this database does not already present in your phmadmin, then the table that you are trying to create is not going to create, because a table, before it to be created, it has to have a working database. Before you can create a table, then that table you must assign it to a working database. So make sure that before you create a script that will be creating table, make sure that the name of the database is already, that you want to use, is already present in your phmadmin. So right now the name of the database we want to use. So if all this thing is right, then we ask it to what? Table created successfully is what the message we are going to see. So let's save. So when we save, let's go to our website and run the script. What's the name of the script now? Create table.php. So let's run it. Create table.php. Let's run it. Can you see? The first thing is we ask it to echo connection successful. The first thing is we ask it to echo connection successful. The first thing is we ask it to echo connection successful. Yeah. When all this is connected, we ask it to first echo connection successful. And when all this thing is created, we ask it to echo this. And that is why you are seeing this. So let's open our data. Let's refresh this database. Normally, before there is no table, that's why we see no table. But let's refresh this database now. You discover that, can you see? What's the table name? Tutorial_db. The table name is what? The table name is what? Tutorials_tbl. And that is what you are seeing now. So when we click on this table, then we are going to see the feed name. The first feed name, I told you that there are 4 feed names. Tutorial_id is inside your script. Tutorial_id, tutorial_title, tutorial_author, and the last one is submission_date. And the table description, the first one is int, not none, and auto increment. That's what you saw here. The second one is varchar, and the length is 100. That's what you saw here. The third one is varchar and 40, and the third one, the data type is dates and none. That is what you saw. That is what you saw. Submission dates. That's what you saw here. So I believe now we've used our scripts. We have used our scripts to create a table. But whenever you want to use a script to create a table, make sure the database already exists. The database that will store that table already exists. It's because our market_db2 already exists. That is why this table was able to be created. But assuming when you are creating the scripts, when you are creating the script, assuming you use a database here, if you use a database that is not already inside the page admin, then this table is not going to create, because a table needs a database that will store it. A table needs a database that will store it. So make sure that before you create a table, a script that will be creating a table, make sure the database already exists. So that's just one thing you have to take note. So you can just save this script for future purpose. Anytime you want to create a table, you can still use this script for in PHP. All you need to do is change all these parameters to the server that you are using, and change the name of the database, and even change the name of the table. But I believe what you created right now, the table we created right now, I believe you can also do the same thing. You can also create a table from this interface. All you need to do is, by the time you log into this interface, if the database, by the time you log into this interface, if the database that you want the table to be stored in, if it's already here, all you need to do is click on database and create new table. But if the database that you want, the table that you want to create, is not already here, all you need to do is create new database first, then later click on new database that we create, then you click on it. Then the next thing is you click, the next thing is you click on create table. But because the table is there already, that's why you see the students_tb. But as the table is not there, you see no tables. So then the next thing is, so if I want to create this table again, all I need to do is click on create table. Then I can create everything I've created here. Everything I've created here now. Create table. What's the name of table? Students_db. I can do the same thing here. All I need to do is have four feed here. The first feed I will name it tutorial_id. The second feed I will name it tutorial_title. The first feed tutorial_id. Second feed tutorial_id. So I will name all this feed. And the next thing is I will describe the feed. I will describe the feed by knowing the data types, the length. I will describe the feed. Then the next thing is normally that's the first thing. I have to create the table name. I have to decide the name that I want to use for my table. In this now, they use tutorial_tbl as a table name. So after I finish, all I need to do is to save, and my table will still be saved as when I use the script in creating the table. So this is just a way of creating a table with your design interface, your GUI, and this is the example to create a table making use of a script. So just understand these parameters and you change it to suit the kind of tables you want to create. Well, you can start on Google for this kind of syntax. Now you can start on Google on different ways, as in different ways about how you can create a table. PHP, you just write PHP script on how to create a table. Then you are going to have a lot of codes. Then so I believe you can start using Google now, because I believe Google is for people that knows about what they want to do. So e-editor is just to give you the direction where to go, and for you to be able to develop website, for you to be able to build a website. So thank you so much.